came out of an abusive marriage. He was physically unstable, he was emotionally unstable, and he was financially unstable. He had a secret lifestyle of drug addiction that eventually surfaced and came out. And while we had all the support and all the counselors and pastors and everybody to rally around us and come alongside of us to help rehabilitate him so that he could become a healthy person and God could restore and heal our marriage, he didn't want to follow through with any of the hard work to actually change. So in 2009, I actually had to get a restraining order against him because the violence was so intense this particular day that actually my ex-mother-in-law had to hurry 3 of my kids out the door into safety and take them to school with her. And I had to run out the front door with the baby to try to get to the neighbor's house to call for help because he had ripped the phone wire out of the wall and took my cell phone. So I couldn't even call the police. Well, I had already called the police, but he ripped the phone cord out of the wall, and that's when we still had landlines. Anyway, so the cops ended up showing up. Long story longer. I went through a divorce, and then he actually ended up leaving the kids and abandoning them before the divorce was even final. He said that, he told them that he got a job and he was going to help mom financially and send us money, which was not true at all. And then he blamed me and started just, spreading rumors and lies that I took the kids from him, that he has no choice, that he might as well just leave and start over because I'm crazy and psychotic and I took the kids, which again is not true. He had a court-ordered supervised visitation twice a week, and the goal was for him to be rehabilitated and us to be able to move to joint custody. He foregoed his court-ordered visitation. Anyway, and so through this process, the whole reason why I'm sharing this very quick snapshot of mine and my kids' reality is I would have been diagnosed with PTSD. I had every symptom, I had every emotional response of the experience of trauma and PTSD and depression and anxiety and panic attacks and you name it, I had it. I was waking up with nightmares in the middle of the night. I would have panic attacks if I was running down the street. This is before he moved away, in fear that I would see him, drive past me, and just the panic and the anxiety and the dips of depression because of the emotional and physical abuse that I had endured. It was intense. I would go into intense panic. I would get triggered very easily. A memory would pop up and send me back to that moment of, times where he dragged me down the stairs, or the times that he crushed my ribs, with his bare hands. And what's powerful and mind-blowing, and a part of my testimony that I love to talk about, is that Jesus healed my mind. I don't have PTSD. I don't live with trauma. I don't have those triggers anymore. I don't have the panic attacks of the past and those anxiety, things that creep in and paralyze me. And it was a layer by layer process. It was a messy process. I can't say that it was wrapped in this, little box and tied with a bow and, here Jesus gave me my restored mind. That wasn't my story. That wasn't my journey. I do realize that other people have experienced that, but I want to share my experience in a way that gives you a little bit of an understanding of what you can do if you battle anxiety, panic attacks, depression, PTSD, trauma, you name it, from any level. It doesn't even have to be, marriage abuse. It could be from anything, because life has a way of creating trauma, and it messes with our minds, but Jesus is healer and he restores minds. It's going to look different for you. This process is not going to be the same as my process, but there are certain things that will look the same because they're biblical. Number one, I had to forgive him. And it was not a feeling, and it wasn't I trust him, it wasn't we got restored. It was out of sheer obedience, knowing that as a child of God, that's what he asks of me, and out of full obedience and surrender to my God, I forgave him over and over and over. It wasn't a one and done. Something would happen. I would walk in the door. to hear a message on the answering machine of him cussing me out, whatever, it would trigger all the other stuff. Then I'd find myself getting bitter and resentful and angry, and that pile up and that buildup of what he did and how he's destroyed this, and the emotions that the kids were going through, and how it was affecting them. And I would find myself in that place again. Lord, I forgive him. And it was a layer by layer process that wasn't overnight. It was just any single time that I realized I had some unforgiveness in my heart, I again would forgive and release. And like I said, that doesn't mean that he's trustworthy, he's safe, and that the relationship can be restored. It's just my responsibility as a child of God to forgive and release those who wrong me, those who sinned against me, and just leave them in the hands of God. That was number one, and it was very important. The second thing was I did not shove down my emotions. I didn't numb out my emotions. I let myself feel them. But here's what I did different. I invited Jesus into the pain. It was, Jesus, come and touch the places of my heart that are broken. Come and restore my mind. Come and restore the memories and those triggers that come in and send the trauma throughout my whole body, whether it was dips of depression that I was experiencing, or a panic attack, or just any kind of extreme emotion. I invited Jesus into that place, and it looked different. Sometimes it looked like getting in my car and screaming at the top of my lungs. Sometimes it looked like journaling. Sometimes it looked like I'm curled in a ball in fetal position, literally just weeping and inviting Jesus into that place. I allowed myself to feel the wide range of emotions. And thirdly, I chose to show up for my life. I could not sit in a corner and cry about the past and cry about my broken heart. I still had to make a decision every single day to show up for myself, to show up for God, to show up for my kids, and be present in my life. And that meant trusting God with the pain, believing that he was going to meet me, that he was going to heal me, that he was going to restore me. And I would move to praise and declarations that my God is good, my God is faithful, my God heals, and no matter what I have to walk through, no matter what this looks like, I know my God is going to show up, and he did. I'm healed and I'm free, and he wants that for you.